All right, let's talk about something we've all been through, something that connects just about everyone in a busy town or city, the absolute nightmare of finding a parking spot. We're going to dive into how a really smart, layered approach can take that daily chaos and turn it into, well, clarity.
I mean, seriously, who hasn't? You're circling and circling, your blood pressure is rising, you're watching the clock, you're not just late, you're getting stressed out. It's this universal feeling of frustration, and we've all been there. But here's the thing, that one person's frustration, it really adds up. You multiply that by thousands, or even tens of thousands of drivers every single day, and suddenly it's a massive citywide problem. We're talking tons of wasted fuel, completely unnecessary emissions, and, it slowly chips away at our trust in how our public spaces are managed.
So let's dig into that. This isn't just some minor, everyday annoyance. We're really looking at a fundamental challenge for any modern city, and it's one that needs a genuinely intelligent solution. It's so easy to think you can just throw some tech at the problem. Just, install a bunch of sensors and call a day. But the real fix, the one that actually works, is so much deeper. It's about building a strategic framework, about building real intelligence into the whole system, long before you ever install a single camera. Okay, so how do we build that intelligence? This is where we get to the heart of it all. A framework that's designed to create insight. We're going to walk through how you build a smart system from the ground up, starting with the most critical piece of all, the foundation. I want you to think of this as a kind of ladder, a ladder of insight. You can't just jump to the top rung. Each layer has to build on the one right below it, moving from really basic questions to these sophisticated automated actions. We're going to climb this ladder together, one step at a time. And this right here is probably the most important point of the whole explainer. We start at layer 0. Before we even whisper the word hardware, we have to figure out our intent. This is all about putting strategy way ahead of technology. We have to understand what problem we're actually trying to solve first. So the very first question is simply, why? Why are we doing this? Is the main goal to cut down on those traffic jams that happen when everyone's circling for a spot? Or maybe it's about making it a way less stressful experience for people visiting a hospital. Or is it about business, making sure the parking revenue is what it should be? Defining that goal changes everything else that comes after. Next up, you absolutely have to define what normal looks like, right? You can't possibly spot a problem if you don't have a baseline for what's supposed to be happening. What's the average number of full spots on a Tuesday afternoon compared to a Saturday night? When are the peak hours? This baseline is just essential for knowing if you're succeeding and for spotting when things go wrong. And finally, at this foundation level, we have to nail down the risks that actually matter to us. Is the biggest threat total gridlock around the building? Or is it people without permits taking up reserved spots? Or maybe there's a serious security concern in a corner of the lot that's poorly monitored. Prioritizing these things ensures the system we build is designed to solve our biggest headaches first. Okay, so once we know our why, we can finally move up to layer 1, the data itself. This is where the cool tech comes into play. You've got AI cameras, license plate recognition, all of it integrated into an IoT platform, securely streaming data in real time. This isn't just a bunch of numbers, it's about creating a trustworthy digital twin of what's happening on the ground second by second. So, with that solid data foundation in place, we can start climbing our ladder of insight. This next stage is all about making the big leap, from just collecting a ton of information to actually understanding what it's trying to tell us. Welcome to Layer 2. This is what we call descriptive analytics, and it's all about giving you complete situational awareness. Think of a live dashboard on a screen that shows you exactly how many spots are free, or maybe a color-coded heat map showing you the busiest zones. For the first time, you can truly see what is happening everywhere at this very moment. And look, seeing what's going on is great. It's a huge step up, but it's really only half the story. To truly fix the problem, you have to understand the root cause. The real power, the game-changing stuff, comes from knowing why things are happening the way they are. And this slide right here is a perfect illustration of layer 3, or diagnostic insight. This is where the system starts connecting the dots for you. Look at the pattern here. It's not just that Zone B is full sometimes. The data shows Zone B gets slammed on concert nights, while Zone A is the one that's packed on business days. See, we're going past the symptom, a full lot, and finding the cause by correlating different pieces of data.
All right, now we get to climb to the most advanced layers of our ladder. This is where the system stops just looking at the past and the present and starts looking into the future. This is Layer 4 Predictive Analytics. It's basically a crystal ball for parking. By analyzing all that historical data, the system can make incredibly accurate forecasts. Look at this chart. It's not just telling you about today or tomorrow, it's predicting a major surge for next Saturday, probably because it knows there's a big event scheduled. This is the power of knowing what's coming. And that right there is the fundamental shift. It's the difference between reacting to chaos once it's already started and proactively preparing for demand before it even arrives. You're no longer getting caught off guard by a full parking lot. You're ready for it. And that is a complete game changer for how you operate. And finally, we've made it to the top of the ladder, Layer 5, Prescriptive Action. This is where all that insight turns into automatic action. The system predicts that surge is coming. It knows the best solution is to redirect drivers to a less crowded area. And so, it automatically updates the digital signs to do just that. It doesn't just tell you a problem is coming, it prescribes the solution and then carries it out.
So, after climbing all those layers, what's the real payoff? Why does any of this matter? Let's quickly recap the real-world impact you get from building this kind of intelligence.
The payoff is huge, and it hits on every level. For the city, you get better efficiency and way less congestion. For the environment, that means fewer emissions from cars endlessly circling. For the business owner, it means you're optimizing your space and your revenue. And for you, the driver, it just means a faster, safer, and a whole lot less stressful day. But really, at its core, this whole thing goes way beyond cars and concrete. When a city or a business can manage its spaces this effectively, this intelligently, it's building something way more valuable than a parking garage. It's building trust with the people it's there to serve. This quote from the source material just perfectly sums up the entire shift. The old way of doing things was all about reacting to problems after they'd already happened. The huge opportunity we have now is to get way out ahead of them, using data to predict what's coming and prescribe the right response before anyone even feels the pain. And that really leaves us with one final big question. If this kind of layered intelligence can transform something as famously chaotic as parking, just imagine what else it could do. What other parts of our urban lives, from managing traffic flow to public transit to waste management, are just waiting for this same journey from chaos to clarity?